Good morning. We're going to get this Tuesday morning, July 16th Board of County Commission meeting to come to order. And I would like to ask, our pastor didn't make it this morning, so I'd like to ask Commissioner Flowers if she'd be willing to do a prayer, and then if Commissioner Scott could lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
Gracious and majesty, we thank you for allowing us to arrive in this place safely. We ask for safe traveling grace and mercy for those that are on their way. We are thankful that we are able to continue to do the business of Pinellas County, looking out for all of the residents, including those who have less than others. We ask that you continue to keep this country safe. We are thoughtful as it relates to the assassination attempt on the President of the United States. The former President of the United States. And irrespective of how you may feel, life is important to all of us. We want to send a special prayer out for the ones who lost their lives, for the father who guarded his wife and his child, and for those that are in critical condition. We ask for an expedient healing for them. More importantly, we ask for safety and protection for those of us that are here on today. The work that we do is not easy, but we take on the challenge wholeheartedly. We ask for those who are homeless to look out for them. We ask for those who are in need of a healing based on their health. We ask that you look out for them. We ask that you continue to guide and protect the staff that work for Pinellas County. They do a wonderful job that sometimes is thankless, but we sitting here acknowledge all of the hard work that they do. And we want them to know that we are forever grateful for their service. We also want to give thanks and praise to the men and women in the military. They serve and protect this country, this entire country, not just some, but all of us. And we are thankful for the job that they do every day. And we ask for special prayers, grace, and mercy for their family members who see them go off and sometimes not knowing if they shall return. We ask that you bless this meeting for those that will be coming, speaking, either on their issues or on issues about other things. We ask that we do this in a way that is professional, in a way that is kind-hearted, but in a way that will bring solutions rather than contention. These and all other blessings we ask in the majestic name of the one who sits high and looks low, on the one who has all power and authority in his hand, and the one who is truly in control. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to ask Brian Lowak, President and CEO of Visit St. Pete Clearwater, to join me at the podium. Hi.
Good morning.
How are you? So this day is an opportunity to celebrate our incredible destination, home of the 727 area code, and show appreciation for the positive impact of tourism in Pinellas County. Tourism serves as a major economic driver for Pinellas County, with nearly 16 million visitors, contributing to nearly $6.6 billion to our local economy last year alone. We extend our gratitude to Visit St. Pete Clearwater for their ongoing efforts to promote tourism and highlight the importance of our community in these endeavors. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that July 27, 2024 is recognized as 727 Day. And I have to say, since Brian took over as CEO, what a difference, what a change. You've done an amazing job, and it's really a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
So for you, and we're going to take some pictures. So if everyone wants to come up and join Brian and I for some pictures to celebrate 727 Day.
So, while I've got the microphone, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the commission, but also 727 Day is all about celebrating our residents and thanking them for the role that they play in our tourism industry. And so to do that on 727 Day, we've partnered with over 100 local businesses to offer hundreds of deals exclusive to locals that they can partake on 727 Day. And in addition to that, we're going to be activating throughout the community, starting in Tarpon Springs, working our way to Safety Harbor, then Seminole, and ending up down in St. Pete at the Trop on Saturday, 727 Day. We're going to be thanking the residents by giving them prizes, giving them limited edition 727 Day t-shirts that we partnered with a local artist to create. And we'll also be giving out 727 tickets to the Rays game on 727 Day when they take on the Cincinnati Reds. So again, I encourage all the residents and everyone watching to go on 727day.com to check out all those cool discounts exclusive to locals and also see how they can get some prizes and some swag. Thank you.
And this is this is much more important than getting on with work because, as Commissioner Flowers said, we have outstanding staff here at the county, and so it is a privilege to recognize them. But first, I'd like to ask Robert Cleveland, James Moore, and Anna Yu, and Lisa Molina from our Parks and Conservation Resource Department to join me at the podium. How are you? Monroe. Monroe. It says it right there. I think my brain is still on vacation. I'm going to let one of you hold that. Parks and recreation are an integral part of communities throughout this country and Pinellas County. Our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and enjoy outdoor activities. Time spent in nature positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being. The National Parks and Recreation Association and the Florida Recreation and Parks Association designated July as National Parks and Recreation Month. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that July 2024 be recognized as National Parks and Recreation Month. And I'm really pleased to have you all here, and I apologize for the mistake on the name, but our parks are beautiful, and we really appreciate all of your hard work. So we're going to have everyone come up for photos again, if that's all right, if you want to come on up here. Okay, and it is my privilege to, and Barry, are you going to join me? Great. It's my privilege to honor two outstanding Pinellas County employees with the Employee Appreciation Awards. Today's first honoree is Joan Rice from our Public Works Department. Where's Joan? Hi, Joan. Thank you for all of your hard work. Joan is an extremely valuable member of the Public Works staff. She is our multimodal safety project coordinator, which means her job is to make all of us safer, whether we're walking, driving, or biking. And I'd like to, I'm welcoming you here. I'm glad to have you here, but we're going to watch a video of you and hear about all your work.
Hi, my name is Joan Rice, and I am the Multimodal Safety Project Coordinator for Pinellas County. I work for Transportation Planning in Public Works. And what that means is that I work with bicyclists, pedestrians, and transit users to look for safer options. My safety involvement is working one-on-one with people, but it's also working with the plan sets to make sure that anything is incorporated that can provide more safety. It also is involved working with other municipalities and the Florida Department of Transportation just to make sure that we are thinking about all road users.
She's out there talking to our government partners and the public, and then she can come back here and work with the different departments and divisions we have in Public Works, such as bridges and anything multimodal. Her focus is on bicycles and pedestrians and how to promote them and operationally make them safer. Joan is an engineer by trade, so she is a PE, but she also has a planning background, and she's also very artistic. That's a good combination that she can create a project and see it through to completion with the details. She came up with the idea for a courtesy campaign for the Pinellas Trail.
It's encouraging people to be nice, to follow the rules, and to be courteous to others.
She developed the different options to put on the signs, put them in the field. That was soup to nuts, from the creation and the thought process just to create the project through implementation, and the poles were in the ground. Her work makes a huge difference for Pinellas County that people don't understand. Just the funding and the safety projects and just the outreach.
I like doing my part. I want everybody to get there safe. And it takes everybody to make safety happen. It takes the people that are designing the roadways. It takes the people that are using the roadways. Safety is important to all of us. You all have loved ones at home you want to get home to. So we want you to get home to them. I am Joan Rice, and I am Pinellas County.
Great, and it's a great story, and thank you again for your work. I know Barry and I are really proud to have you here. Do you want to do the other one? Okay, so stay up here. And our next honoree is Allie Riemann from Public Works. That's all right. So Allie helps make sure our county projects are resilient. She has taken on leadership roles in the facilitation of management of projects and grants and consistently goes above and beyond to help our staff. I'd like to invite, and I'm glad you're up here, and I'd like to invite all of you to join us in watching a video of Allie.
My name is Allie Riemann. I'm an environmental project coordinator with Public Works Capital Improvements Division. I promote sustainability and resiliency within our capital projects and planning efforts, including green infrastructure.
Her work is evident in everything that we do within Public Works, and that may not be as visible to the public on the outside, but really every function that we have, she's working to help make sure that we're as sustainable and resilient as possible.
I just love the environment. I always have been a strong proponent of the natural environment, and so to be able to implement projects that are going to sustain Again, this natural and vibrant community for future generations is really satisfying to me.
Allie does not stop at what she's asked to do, she does what needs to be done. So she goes above and beyond what's required and excels. The bioswales is an example of that. They were constructed when she came on my team, but there was an issue with the matting that was in there. She jumped on that task and actually physically came out here and helped me remove it by hand.
She's also assisting with Joe's Creek Greenway project. There was a lot of the grant management experience that had left with a previous employee, but she did pick up the reins on that and very quickly assembled the grant application package for Joe's Creek. And if we get that, it's going to result in blood reduction benefits, water quality benefits. It was a big push, a heavy lift, because the timeline was just incredibly short. That grant application would not have been done without Ellie's help.
She's dedicated, she's resourceful, she's tenacious. She is an environmental scientist at heart, so a lot of what we're doing really speaks to her. And I think that it's evident in everything that she does. She truly does care and is dedicated and is committed to helping us improve quality of life and environmental quality in the county.
My name is Allie Riemann, and I am Pinellas County.
You both are really outstanding employees, and we're just so proud to have you here. Do either one of you want to have anything to say? Yeah.
I just want to thank you for this recognition. I'm incredibly grateful to work for an amazing team at Public Works, and this $40 million grant application wouldn't have been possible without the support of our division director and department director, who fully support going after large grant opportunities like this, to our finance department, finance analysis, who help us identify the matching funds and where funding is needed, to our contracts team, who helps us package that application and sends to the board so that you can review and approve that. For the Joe's Creek grant, we worked closely with the Department of Emergency Management, the Laumann CRA, and the St. Petersburg Foundation, which is the backbone organization for the Laumann Exchange. We are incredibly lucky here in Pinellas County to work for outstanding organizations, both internally and externally, to make these projects so much more than just a stormwater transportation project. We include things like workforce development, natural resources, natural solutions, things like public art and placemaking, to really just make these projects such a community benefit. And so I'm proud to work for Pinellas County, and we look forward to bringing home more federal funds to these worthy community projects. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for this recognition. It's been great working for Public Works. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Regina. And move safe, Pinellas.
So if everyone would like to come up, we'll take a picture with our outstanding employees. Kelly, you're quite blessed to have such amazing staff.
Hello, hello.
We have citizens to be heard. I want to start with David Ballard Geddes Jr. And just for, David, I know you know, but just for the public's sake, you state your name and your address, and you get 3 minutes.
I will, thank you. David Ballard Geddes Jr., I live at 802 Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. Pinellas County has placed the residents in a ready-to-serve zone. I now live in what's known as a reclaimed water ready-to-serve zone. So exactly what political ways and means brought this about. Originally, I lived in a non-deed restricted, unincorporated area of Pinellas County. What does it mean to live in a ready-to-serve zone? Who is serving, what is serving who, and what if you reject the dictates of paying the reclaimed water availability fee? Is the county intending on foreclosing on our homes for not paying their contrived availability charges? The reclaimed water contract is a variance application which extends a variance not just for public utilities between the sidewalk and the street, but this reclaimed variance of such includes my entire parcel of property, allowing for development rights to a third-party private facility as granted. What is meant by this transfer of development rights? Is the county utility allowing an ad hoc third-party developer the right to privatize infrastructure, invoking a third-party levy against the equity of our homes to pay for such ad hoc infrastructure racketeering schemes, whereas the county fallaciously thumbs the residents and allows for ad hoc bashuas the right to tap into the equity of our homes, plundering us as based on Federalist Paper number 23, tapping into the equity of our homes to pay for this third-party facility contrived infrastructure as recognized in Pinellas County Ordinance 97-103, Section 126-509A. In effect, the county is allowing a third party to assess a poll tax against the residents using a third-party direct tax, directly taxing, bashing the residents based on Federalist paper, based on Florida Statute 15303, Section 5, this reclaimed water variance of such is claiming eminent domain development rights, taking both our personal and real property. All of our rights as residents are being subjected in Statute 170.03. The reclaimed water variance application clearly states that I, the applicant, literally owe my health, my safety, and my religious convictions. Imagine that, taking my life, liberty, my property, and my religion while birthing water jurisdictions under the 14th Amendment.
Thank you, David. Next is Anne Marie Winter.
Good morning. I'm Anne Marie Winter from 9549 Coger Boulevard North, St. Petersburg 33702. I'm with the Area Agency on Aging of Pasco Pinellas, and I serve as the executive director. I'm here this morning to thank Commissioner Charlie Justice for his service on our board of directors. Commissioner Justice served for 9 years as a remarkable, engaged, and dedicated board member to the Area Agency on Aging of Pasco Pinellas. He served as the chair of the Nominating and Membership Committee, which allowed us to identify, interview and elect new board members to our board. He served as the chair of our marketing committee, which helped us develop our new logo. He was even the graphic designer for that logo, and he has been a wonderful board member. And I just wanted to recognize his 9 years of service on the board of directors of the Area Agency on Aging. We've been in existence for 50 years, and I've been very grateful for the participation of a county commissioner from Pinellas County for that entire time. And we look forward to the county commission selecting a new member to serve from the commission on our board of directors. Together with our provider partners, we have served 1,007,432 seniors, adults with disabilities, and caregivers in Pinellas and Pasco counties in that 50 years. And we wouldn't have been able to do that with the incredible partnership we have with our provider organizations. And I'd like to thank, a little bit of that goes to Charlie Justice. So I'd like to thank him very much.
Madam
Commissioner Justice.
One, thank you so much for coming this morning. I really appreciate those kind words, a surprise, so thank you very much. And I am going to record that and play that back every night, I think, for the next 100 days. But the AAA is an incredible organization. Anne Marie's leadership, we all get to serve on these different boards and committees throughout the community, and so we've seen different executive directors of those organizations. I've been privileged. Anne Marie is one of the finest executive directors of any of these type of organizations that you have the privilege, and Commissioner Flowers will enjoy working with you coming forward. But just really thank you very much for coming to say all those. That's really very kind of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Ronald Walker.
Morning, Ronald Walker, 7100 Olmerton Road, Largo. This is the third time I've appeared before you guys to advise you that you're being stolen from with 2 fists. And you're vulnerable to tens of millions of dollars in theft. And I would like to blow the whistle and expose the thieves and the money, and when they will collect it. I and Executive Burton could write the contract to protect me and my whistleblower award in 15 minutes. And the county attorney could approve its legality in 10 minutes. Some of you, I would think all of you would be thrilled to collect a lot of money. Now, we prayed this morning for the homeless. We could make a covenant of the contract that all the monies short of my whistleblower award will be spent on the homeless. It's money you're never going to get. And over the years, it's going to amount to tens of millions of dollars. And you won't ever know it. I propose to blow the whistle, collect the money, and make you all heroes. And none of you are going to have to do any work. None of you will be exposed to any kind of physical danger, and a great political, positive light will be shown on you at re-election time. Your wisdom will be rewarded. So when you want to collect millions of dollars for the people you represent that you're never going to collect, I'm your whistleblower. Let me hear from you, and I'll keep coming and advising you as the theft grows of all the money you're not getting for your people. Now, as for me, a lot of people think I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm not here to scam you. I'm here to serve you. It's been said in my lifetime, on occasion, that I'm a gentleman. I want to serve you. I'm not here to pull the wool over your eyes. I'm here to lift the scales. It's out there to be collected, guys, when you want to make the decision. Let me hear from you, but I'll stay in touch with you. And I want to thank you for your time this morning. And let me, think about the money, the good you could do with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Greg Pound.
Greg Pound, Largo, $40 million. That sounds like a lot of money for that water project. What I want to bring up is the issue is that I went to the Gay Pride Parade, and this is the newest thing that's going on. This was passed out through the whole parade by all the LGBT, and it says that queers and Muslims have joined together against Israel and against the support of Israel from America. And you need to read this little thing that they passed out to everybody downtown. It's just amazing what's going on. It's amazing. It says in the Quran, listen to this. This is Quran chapter 8, verse 12. Terrorize and kill those who believe in Scripture other than the Quran. Listen to this one here about the Jews, what it says about Jews and Christians. Quran 5:33. It says, maim and crucify the infidel if they criticize Islam. And it just goes right on. Where's this section here I wrote here about Christians and Jews, what it says. It says in the Quran in chapter 9, verse 30, it says, the Jews and the Christians are perverts. Fight them to the death. And so what it is now you have them coming in. Did you see what this says? What it tells them, what they're planning on doing? And they got all the queer community, and you got you people out there giving $40,000 to draw these people into our community, and now they're united with the LGBT community against our own country? I mean, this is insane. You know, I went on a trip this week, and I go there, and I couldn't believe the stuff that I seen. I call it divine appointments. When I watch people being harassed for sleeping in their car, and I'm talking about nice cars and so forth, in a rest area, but yet I go through, I yoke up with the church that goes out into the community. We went through a giant apartment complex filled with Muslims. I said, where did all these people come from? And you couldn't believe it where this was at. You couldn't make this up. And so what it is that, to me, it's like we are being infiltrated we got ignorant people running our system, don't know what's going on. They go along to get along with corruption. And that's what we've got today. The Bible says the wicked shall be turned into hell in a nation that forgets God. If you don't see this nation being turned into hell, when we lose our principles, the stuff going on, I was going to try to read this. The print is so small, I can barely read it. You just wouldn't, you would have to see it. If I put it on here, will it come up on that? Can you make that come? So you guys can look at it and read it yourself. You folks need to read this, take a picture of it, read it, and look at the organizations they're associated with. And this is what's passed out at the Gay Pride Parade by all the homosexuals, everywhere. I mean, there are pamphlets that are going out all over the place. And this is what's coming in on us. And it's sad.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to our public hearings. We have 2 items on the public hearing. We want to move to number 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Agenda item number 5 is a petition by James Casper as manager of Trustee Asset Services, LLC, Florida Limited Liability Company, which serves as trustee of the Hibiscus Land Trust to vacate the north 107.44 feet of the west 15 feet of the 30-foot right-of-way of Coconut Avenue, lying east of Lot 1, Harbor View A, Plat Book 9, page 54, lying in Section 293015, Pinellas County, Florida. The public hearing was properly advertised, and an affidavit of publication has been received for filing. No correspondence has been received by the clerk, and the matter is properly before the board to be heard.
Okay, thank you. I do have a comment card from the petitioner, and he does want to speak. So if we want to bring him up now, we'll do that first. So James Casper, if you want to step forward. And again, you'll have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name's James Casper, 616 Fayette Drive North, Safety Harbor, Florida. Apologize for me missing the first hearing. My daughter was up in Jacksonville bringing home the state runner-up title for the 3,200-meter track race. So as much as I like to discuss 30-foot right-of-ways, I like to do that better. Just wanted to clarify a couple of quick things that were mentioned in the first hearing and then be available for any questions. And also, I am a 44-year Pinellas County resident, so that I am Pinellas County thing you did to honor everybody who makes this a great place is pretty cool. So keep that initiative going. I'm the trustee of a company that is an investment company that purchased the property back in January of 2019. The original intention was, as the neighbors did say, for my family to live in the house. But I could not convince my wife that that was a good idea. It was a very big house with a lot of work, so that was sold to another family in July of 2019. The two neighbors spoke quite a bit about having some objections to the building that was on Lot 2-3, and they mischaracterized me as the builder. My investment partner in that purchase passed away from COVID in 2020, and their family decided to sell the property. So we only retain the one lot that we're trying to vacate the right-of-way on now. The reason why we want to vacate the right-of-way isn't to gain any additional development area. It was simply to provide a more secure border on the eastern side so that there isn't a 30-foot strip where people can run down the side of the property, whether it's us, our family that builds there, or we end up building for another family or people. So we're completely fine with what was proposed at the last commission meeting of splitting it into two 15-feet parcels so that the right-of-way could be vacated and go to both property owners. The only thing that I would ask, if that is something that the commission is interested in doing, is that the costs for surveying and the legal descriptions would be shared by both parties. In addition, one of the other things that I wanted to clarify was the neighbors had spoke multiple times about cross-accessing between the neighborhoods, and there is about a 13-foot strip that does back up to Savoy. So if the county wanted to provide a cross-access agreement to the neighbors behind them, the county could provide a cross-access agreement, and they could fence if that's what the neighbors wanted to do. And then finally, we have been maintaining the property.
Okay, thank you. And that helps. And I'm not sure how to do that if you all entertained splitting that, if you don't already have a buyer and a contract and an agreement, so.
If we could have Kevin come up and clarify
Great.
kind of where we're at, I think
Kevin,
that
that would
would
be
help you
great.
as your.
Thank you so much.
And your
Thanks.
deliberation.
And I'm available for any questions.
Okay, great, thank you.
Good morning, Kevin McAndrew, Director, BDRS. I want to clarify that the petition before you would vacate just 15 feet of the existing right-of-way. The easterly half would remain right-of-way, and by doing so, that still would allow the adjoining neighbors to have that pedestrian connectivity through that 15-foot strip into this neighborhood.
And that's what they were requesting, correct?
And this was, so staff brought this alternative solution to the neighbors. They were supportive of this, and the applicant was also supportive of this update.
Okay, and who maintains that 15 feet?
The 15 feet will be maintained by Public Works.
Okay. Commissioner Eggers.
Okay, so the 15 feet, let me just see here. 15 feet that they're asking for will become part of their property, and any setbacks would be included in that area as well.
That's correct. That becomes contiguous part of their, it's a unified lot with the 15 feet, so the setback would be then taken from the newly established property line.
And and the applicant made the request for the vacation. The applicant is the one that is asking for, has agreed to the 15 feet. Is it customary for the county to split those fees with us?
No, I'm not aware of this proposal.
Yeah, okay.
That's not the proposal that's before you, though, Commissioners.
No, I want to make sure I was clear on
Correct.
that. so-
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That is not part of this petition.
What he was saying,
I
but that's
understand,
not the
I
proposal.
understand. I just want to make sure that what was the norm, so, yeah, so I would move approval without the reimbursement of any shared expenses. All those expenses should be borne by the petitioner.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Eggers, a second from Commissioner Scott. Any other questions, comments, discussion? If not, then we bring up the voting card. Commissioners can vote. Okay, that passes unanimously. We'll move on to number 6.
Agenda item number 6 is an amendment by resolution supplementing the fiscal year 2024 operating budget, realigning reserves, and recognizing unanticipated revenue for requesting departments and funds. The public hearing was properly advertised and an affidavit of publication has been received for filing. No correspondence has been received by the clerk. The matter is properly before the board to be heard.
Commissioners, there's 3 specific items that are contained within this. This is the Family Reunification Center we discussed previously for the sheriff, for the $1.5 million to fund the county's commitment to the Dolly Museum, and a public defender's and parks and conservation resource unanticipated revenues.
Any questions, comments? Got a motion from Commissioner Justice, second from Commissioner Long. If we bring up the voting card, commissioners can vote. That passes unanimously, and we're going to move on to the consent agenda, items number 7 through 24. Is anybody looking to pull an item?
Yeah,
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, we had gotten some correspondence from Barry or Jill, I can't remember, on one of the items that I had asked about, if they could just speak to that.
We sent out 2, I can't remember which 2 or 3.
Well, I'd asked about all 3 because there's...
Yes, and so I'll ask Jill to come up, but I think one is Safety and Emergency Services. Jim can speak to that. I don't remember if we sent a response on that and if you want them to speak to it, but we're ready to speak to all 3.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Do we have the numbers of
We
those?
probably need to remove those.
This was for 11, 12, and 13.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jill Silverboard, County Administration. I don't recall the order, but I have responses concerning the IG's report, follow-up audit of the fleet management billing process. We have an antiquated system, over 25 years old, and it just lacks so many of the attributes that we need in order to have an effective functioning billing, asset management, accountability, work order, basically to do everything that they do in fleet. We've been not very advanced in our automation of that work. So due to the deficiencies that the IG report identified, we have purchased AssetWorks, which is a software platform. It's currently being implemented. The implementation is scheduled to be finished this fall. And it'll have policies along with its implementation that will address the billing processes, charging, chargebacks, and so forth. So they will be curing all the findings that the IG report identified within the next several months.
It was that purchase of the new system, which is why it was only partially correct.
That's correct. And we completely agreed with the findings of the partial implementation. I also can address the IG report that was a follow-up on conduct unbecoming of an employee out in Public Works. The IG investigation was a follow-up to a self-reported incidents where Public Works had discovered employee misuse of resources on private property. This goes back to April of 2022. When one of the crew chiefs had advised that they were going to be taking out 10 yards of concrete for a job. Turned out when management thought, that seems like a lot for this particular work order, we sent the management went out and found that the crew was performing work on a private property for their own direct payment, which of course violates all kinds of things and is considered potentially theft, so that we referred that to the sheriff's office. We did file charges and we did request restitution, which was paid. Public Works also initiated pre-disciplinary actions related to 2 of those employees, but those employees resigned from the county before that was undertaken. Public Works requested the IG review our existing protocols to define any methods for managing our materials and work management. The finding to implement a procedure to verify has now been the IG follow-up report in front of you says that it was partially implemented. However, the department has presented their final workflow, and it's attached to the materials from the IG that they recommended as a quality control check. So barring any further findings from the IG, we consider this matter to be addressed fully.
Thank you.
I can't address the other one, Barry.
Yeah. No, the other one is with Jim, and that is in the medical director's office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Fogarty, the Bureau Director, Safety and Emergency Services. The IG did a report on the Office of the Medical Director's process known as the Quality Assurance Review. The Quality Assurance Review is a review process associated with the certification and the care and the operations of the emergency medical services system. The report had 2 significant findings, which the department agrees with, and for the most part has already implemented with the exception of 2. The emergency medical services system handles about 250,000 responses annually. On any given day, there's about 600 people taken to the hospital. And of course, with 2,000 clinicians in the system and that level of volume, there's questions of certification, accuracy, and compliance with clinical protocols. And the process to review that is known as the Quality Assurance Review process. There's about 2 reviews conducted a day, and the IG report looked at not the clinical findings, that's a function of the medical director, but looked at the administrative processing, the accuracy of intake, and the access to those reports. 2 findings were, not surprising, last year the department, which provides administrative support to the Office of the Medical Director, last year the department begun replacing an antiquated, outdated Access database that was used to process these cases. The Access database was successfully replaced in October, and as the IG began his report, in the report you'll see they looked at the old system and the new system, helped us reconfigure the new system known as ImageTrend to alleviate many, not all, of the findings of that report. In the report you'll see those findings. One was the timeliness. There are 4 aspects of the Quality Assurance Review. 1 is notification. 2nd is fact-finding. 3rd is medical director oversight and review. And then typically it's a training verification of a clinician if there's a certification issue. Each of those steps in the medical operations manual has a defined set of days for processing. And so we found that 2 of those 4 steps, the set of days are not realistic in terms of achieving them. The fact-finding, which typically takes anywhere from 15 to 30 days because there's so many agencies and so many reports that have to be captured. So the result, the department, and the 2 findings that we have not yet implemented, all of the rest have been fully implemented, are to change the number of days for fact-finding and training to a more realistic amount. And so we're going to update the medical operations manual. That has to go before the medical control board to do that, and that's a work in progress. And then the second thing, the new database has already been implemented and configured accordingly, but the database and the vendor cannot yet store large volume audio files. And that vendor promises within probably a year they'll be able to do that. And so the temporary fix is to have those audio files being stored on a secure server within the county. So we agree with the findings. They did not surprise us. We began correcting many of those last year. And in October, when the report began, we expected and agreed with all the findings.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. And Jill, thank you as well. I think it's important to make sure that we understand why things are still partially on a check back, and so I appreciate those explanations. And I move approval of the consent.
We have a motion, but before we go to a second, Commissioner Scott has some questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Barry, maybe you can speak to this. Item number 14, correspondence from the City of Tarpon Springs, looks like requesting a CRA. That's the first time I've heard about that. Is that something that we anticipate is going to come before us at some point in the future?
Tom, can you speak to it? I'm going to pull it up.
Commissioner Scott, Tom Armonte, Assistant County Administrator. This is one of the first steps that they take to begin the process with their CRA, so we envision that in the near future they might come to the county.
So this is, okay, so this is just their correspondence back to us, so it's not a formal proposal yet to the commission?
Correct.
So this is just step one?
Step one at the local level, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, before we look for a second, I have a speaker on number 16, so we can either vote on everything but 16 and pull 16, or we can wait and hear the speaker and go from there.
Wait.
Okay, so Mac Johnson on number 16. He's in the other room. We'll get him.
Good morning to all the commissioners and the family as a whole. And I, again, Mac Johnson, 1295 Church Street, Largo. Just look forward to having the privilege of coming in and just sharing a few words with us. I feel from our Lord to our hearts. Of course, this morning, I was thinking about young folk and kind of where I come from as a young guy, a young fellow that did not come from a Christian home by no means. And I had to kind of feel and learn my way without knowing the way. Kind of difficult not knowing the way and trying to get out there and learn the way. But anyway, you just got to go through what you got to go through and things happen. But you know, this morning, I reminded of this young fella that Dad left home when he was about 3 years old, and he left. And now, Dad have kind of grown up a little bit, like a lot of us men. We wait until it's late in life in a lot of cases. But then we start to grow up because we start to see life. But if nobody's here to teach you what real life is, you got to do what you got to do and learn the best you can. And that was my experience, and I'm sure a lot of us have come through the same kind of a thing. But anyway, this little boy has now grown up, and Dad sent for him to come. And he sent a train ticket. So here's this little boy on this train going to see his dad. And all of a sudden, this lady was sitting close to him, and she said to him, son, I know this got to be a hard time for you because, the scenery is not for children. It's just, you're on the train and you don't see nothing but raggedy house here and raggedy house there. And that was the experience he was having. And so she was kind of looking out for him and thought that she would say a few comforting words. But he said, ma'am, I'm not sure if I'm unhappy here or not. But he said, I know this. My dad has sent for me. And I haven't seen him. I want to see my dad. And so that made all the difference in the world. This kid, he should be down, but he's up because he's going to visit with his father. And I just wanted to encourage us today. A lot of time we go through things and you wonder where is this coming from. and you read God's word and talk about all the great promises and all the things that he wants us to have, and he wants us to know that tomorrow is coming. And before you left here, in John chapter 20, he gave us a few verses that says, hey, I'm going away. I'm going to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come back, and I receive you unto myself. So I want to encourage us as young people and as older folk alike that Christ is coming back. That's real. That's true.
Thank you. And Mr. Johnson, in the future, when you, Mr. Johnson, Mac? Just in the future, if you put down a comment card for an item that's on the agenda, then you're to speak about the item on the agenda, and that's about the financials at the Juvenile Welfare Board. So in the future, that's great for public comment in the beginning, but in the future, it has to be associated with the item. So next up is Greg Pound on this same item. And again, I'll remind you, Mr. Pound, that the comments are about the agenda item, and other comments would be better at public comment. Thank you.
His hearing is real bad, so that's the issue. Yeah, the issue, I've been on the Juvenile Justice Board with Marielle Fleming, with Jim Coates, and our goal was to try to protect our juveniles, and it's a real sad situation when you see that we have a system that separates the children from their fathers, and we're spending all this money. It's a bureaucracy. What we have is we have a government that's using the problems to make money off of and give everyone a job. And I just don't think it's right. I think you people, you need to look and see what we're doing to our families, what we're doing to our next generation, especially for for our young people. I mean, you're going to get a consent, but I would like to know what's going to change. We see the drug problem. We see this massive problem of all this money being thrown into something that's not getting better but worse. And so, as we see the issue with the juvenile system we have in our country, it's preparing them for prison, and it's not preparing our young people. And so that's our whole issue. And that's what Mac was trying to say, is that when you separate those children from their fathers through your court system, and at one time it was illegal to get divorced in America, and then once you find out this no-fault divorce works real well, and that's the intent. Margaret Sanger said, if you want to destroy the people, you destroy their family, separate the children from their fathers. So in your consent, you should try to figure out how we can use this money that you're consenting to build the family and to help fathers and mothers stay together and keep the children with their parents and under the authority of their fathers. The authority structure of the home is the father. That's what the Creator says. It says the glory of the children is their father. You separate those children from their fathers, you got problems. And the money that we've spent in the billions of the budget here in the state of Florida, it's just amazing. It's like the people aren't getting it. But everyone has a job, everyone's getting paid, and they're getting paid by all these little children that they have in the system. 10 times more than a man in prison they get from having children under the age of 18. That's the biggest money maker we have. So that's what I want to encourage you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So any other questions, comments, or discussion? We have a motion from Commissioner Eggers.
Second.
A second from Commissioner Scott. If you want to bring up the voting card on items 7 through 24, and commissioners can vote.
Madam Chair, can we do a verbal vote?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We'll go on to number 25.
Item number 25 is a MSTU for Feather Sound for pickleball courts in the amount of $20,000.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion from Commissioner Justice, a second from Commissioner Scott. If we bring up the voting, any other comments or questions? Bring up the voting card, commissioners can vote. And that passes unanimously. We'll go on to number 26.
Item 26 is local government verification of contribution for Gray Oaks Apartments. This is to identify the local match, which is from our SHIP, which is the State Housing Initiatives Partnership Funds, an amount of $610,000.
Questions or comments? We got a motion from Commissioner Justice, second from Commissioner Long. Any other comments? Okay, if the Clerk could bring up the voting cards. Commissioners can vote. And that passes unanimously. Number 27.
This is the First Amendment to an agreement with Homeless Emergency Project. This is a homeless empowerment program. Modifies the contract by $800,000, and then again, this provides emergency shelter, case management, and related services for the Family Emergency Shelter Transition Program.
Questions? We got a motion from Commissioner Latvala, second from Commissioner Eggers. No other further questions. If the clerk could bring up the voting card, commissioners vote. And that passes unanimous. Number 28.
This is the funding recommendations to you for the fiscal year 2025 Human Services Social Action Grant Program. As you can see, we had 55 applications totaling $5.2 million. Unfortunately, it's competitive, and we got $1.7 million to spend, and the recommendations are contained within your packet.
Any questions, comments?
Move approval.
Got a motion from Commissioner Scott.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Justice. With no further discussion, if the clerk could bring up the voting card, commissioners vote. And that passes unanimous. Move on to 29.
Item number 29 is a change order to an agreement with Hubbard Construction. This is for the 2024 Pavement Preservation Program. This modifies that grouping, and Kelly can explain it more, but allows us to continue our resurfacing and rehabilitation program for roads.
Any comments, questions, discussion? We got a motion from Commissioner Long. Second from Commissioner Justice. The clerk could bring up the voting card and commissioners vote. That passes unanimously. We'll move on to number 30.
This is a change order number 1 to agreement with Keystone Excavators for the Mullet Creek Channel B Erosion Control Program. This increases the contract by a little over $308,000 to address shortages and for the project.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
Move approval.
We got a motion from Commissioner Scott, a second from Commissioner Long. If the clerk could bring up the voting cards, commissioners vote. That passes unanimous. We're going to go to number 31.
This is a 3-year extension of an agreement with Frontier Communications for Ethernet services. You can see it's a continuation. It's broken down within your packet.
Okay, questions, discussion? And entertain a motion.
Move approval.
We got a motion from Commissioner Scott, a second from Commissioner Long. With no further discussion, if the clerk would bring up the voting card. And that passes unanimously. Madam County Attorney.
Under item number 32, I'm asking for the board to ratify litigation that was filed in the reference case, which was a animal cruelty case.
Can I entertain a motion?
Move approval.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, a second from Commissioner Long. If the clerk could pull up the voting card, commissioners vote. And that passes unanimously. We'll move to 33.
If I could just quickly, still on 32, give you a quick update. We did take custody of the 5 animals that were in question. Unfortunately, one of the animals died. We did get a court order prohibiting the defendant from owning any further animals pursuant to state law and recovery of our costs. And I was also asked by Animal Services, noting that we have recently impounded these 5 dogs and that they are rather full these days, to pass along that they would be happy to see anybody out there that would like to adopt an animal.
Okay.
Or foster, I'm sure, too.
Or foster,
Or
correct.
foster,
You know, they're
yeah.
having some renovations, and they're pretty full these days,
Right.
so they asked me to give them a little plug, which I'm happy to do. Under item 33, we're requesting approval of the settlement as set forth in the confidential memorandum that you all were able to view last week at the agenda briefing.
Anyone have a motion?
Move approval.
We got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Long. No other questions or discussion? If we could pull up the voting card. And that passes unanimously. Number 34.
Under 34, I'm asking for approval of the resolution that would place the 7 ballot questions on the November ballot that were recommended by the Pinellas County Charter Review Commission.
I'd entertain a motion. Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Eggers, a second by Commissioner Latvala. The clerk could pull up the voting card and commissioners vote. And that passes unanimously. Any reports?
Not today, no.
Okay. County Administrator.
Okay, Pete, if we can pull up the budget presentation. So again, good morning, Commissioners. Today, we're going to provide an overview of the proposed 2025 budget. This is a recommendation to you. Over the next several months, we'll have lots more discussion about the proposed budget. As you're well aware, and for the public's benefit, we've had a lot of information that we've discussed over the past couple months by holding a series of budget informations in June, presentations by the Office of Management and Budget, our constitutional officers, our department heads, agency heads, and judicial officials. There's a lot of information, a lot of great questions were asked, and a lot of direction given based upon those interactive discussions. This budget hopes to bring all of that together in the form of the recommendation that's here before you. You received your nice binder last Thursday. I'm sure you've all gone through that in great detail, but we have plenty of time, and I think that's a message. We're just beginning the budget process. We have all of August and September. We'll hold our budget hearings in September, but there's plenty of time to talk in detail about several programs, and I know there's several things such as lifeguards and things that we want to talk more about in forming the final recommendation that you all will adopt. As you know, it was very clear from last year's discussion that building this year's budget was to hold the line on our property tax. You provided that direction, and we're pleased to report that under the proposed recommendation, we have a property tax millage rate reduction. That rate reduction follows the direction. That'll be the third in the last 4 years where we've had a rate reduction. The cumulative impact of that is real money. We're now taxing $87 million less than had we kept the rate the same over the last 4 years. So that is money that is back into taxpayers' pocket, and that we are trying to be good stewards of the dollars. But as you also were well aware through those hearings, we have many challenges, and departments, the sheriff and others that face not only operational decisions to provide for their employees, for other types of things, but also unfunded mandates that we continue to face. And you saw that with the sheriff's retirement. And some things are not unfunded mandates, but they're a fact, which is healthcare costs for our deputies, for our employees, et cetera. So we're happy to be able to provide a rate reduction, and it's continued to get challenged, but we've done that. And you saw the departments that presented before you, for the departments to report to you, they brought you budgets that are lower than the previous year, almost consistently. That's not done in a vacuum. That's a lot of hard work, looking at alternative service delivery and trying to make good decisions with the use of those dollars. But what we're also just as proud of is that we've been investing in our infrastructure. And that, again, working with you over the last several years, we've continued to increase the amount that we're putting into our roads and bridges. This is a good long-term fiscal decision, because continuing to not invest in infrastructure costs you more in the long run. It's rather than, it's putting the proper coat on your blacktop driveway rather than have to rebuild your blacktop driveway is a more cost-effective decision. Well, the same holds true with our roads and with our bridges. We're putting in $42 million, these additional increments that just a few years ago we were not putting in to our roads and to our bridges. So as you can see, these two things were a priority of the board. You've set these out in your strategic plan, And this budget delivers both of these items within the recommendation. We also have, again, following your direction, additional property tax millage rate reductions within taxing jurisdictions under your authority. We're recommending a reduced countywide emergency medical services millage rate and 7 of the 12 fire district millage rates under the board's purview. We have included at the maximum millage the Seminole Special Recreation District, and that's another discussion that we'll have to have in the coming months. But we are proposing no millage increase on any of the levies. And again, 13 millages are proposed to stay the same. We're continuing to fund and put money into our natural assets, and especially our beaches. And the most notable recent change was you providing the funding for us to be able to nourish down in Paso Grill. But we are continuing to fund up our beach nourishment program, and there's discussions that you're having with the Tourism Development Council, and I think those will be ongoing. We're advancing our affordable housing initiatives in partnership with our municipalities. Very proud to launch the Care About Me program, or CAM, with our behavioral access for our residents. This budget strongly supports our sheriff's operations, our regional 911 services, our emergency medical services, and all of our EMS first responders. This is not done without a lot of work by a lot of different people, and it does cost money, but that's built within the budget. We continue to maintain our reserves at 2.5 months. And again, we're trying to address fees to be gradually increased rather than waiting years in between the fees, again, at your direction, to where people see a large increase all at once. For our employees, we know our employees are, and just like this morning, our most valuable asset. And, you know, I look around at area municipalities and counties, and they're recognizing that through their employees. Well, we need to remain competitive too. Well, we've done that by a couple of ways. One, we're recommending that you include everybody's base salary increase of $600 and then a 4.25% increase for all the employees that are within our authority. We've also, though, reduced positions. And within this budget to help pay for this, we've actually lowered 8.5 positions within our county departments. But as you know, 4 additional positions to account for the short-term rental were added over in our building and development review services. And then while not a BCC department, I could see the direction on your faces when medical services or medical examiner was in here, and we've added the 1 position in the medical examiner's office. This goes back to that. I'm going to let Chris go over all the different decision packages, and he'll wrap this up with going through just some of the highlights. Within your proposal, you'll see everything that was proposed. So whether we recommended it or not, everything's in there. So, and then you'll see what we recommend. So in full transparency, you can see exactly what months of going through budget meetings and working with both our employees, our departments, and our constitutionals. You'll see everything, and then you can clearly see what our recommendation is, which results in a balanced budget that we have before you here today. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chris to hit some of the decision packages.
Thank you, Barry. So you can see each of, as the administrator said, proposed decision packages that we are offering as recommendations to you. These are the positive ones. All of the positive and ones that we're not recommending are in one of the appendices in the back of the book. So we've already talked about short-term rentals, and recall that one is self-funded. It is funded through fees, not through property taxes. The cybersecurity audit in BTS, that's a comprehensive enterprise-wide. Small generators in emergency management, 2 things for medical examiner. One we've already talked about, the new analyst, and the other one, the competitive pay. In human resources, we have a market analysis that they will be doing in the next fiscal year, should this budget be approved as it is. The stadium consultant and increased advertising in CVB. The federal benefits assistance software. This is a software to help our veterans find the specific federal benefits. It's in human resources. and then the work to keep up the new building that we're getting over on Ulmerton. Finally, a couple of quick ones. Airport, radio interference locators, 2 for elections, and then the state attorney Axon system. After that, the general fund is growing $18.8 million total from current year to next. 16.8 of that is in the sheriff's office carried forward, so it's really 24 money carried forward. The remaining $2 million is just kind of across the board. The overall operating budget is growing a larger amount, and you can see some of the reasons for that, not general fund, other reasons for that growing. And capital is growing as well. You saw Kelly's presentation on Thursday. The current year was kind of a ramp-up year. Next year is a building year. We have all the millage rates. You can see exactly what those are. We've already kind of, on a high level, looked at them. You can see what the voting threshold is for each of them. We have 2/3 on a couple of them there, simple majority on the rest. You will see the Seminole Special Recreation District at the bottom of this page will require a unanimous vote. The first time out, it requires that under state law. And then all the fire districts there. Couple of next steps. You all know what these are. We will have the potential for workshops in August. Trim notices go out in 2 hearings that you're all invited to in September. And that's it.
Questions?
Conclude the budget. I just want to really give a shout out to all of our departments, our constitutional officers. There's a lot of work that begins literally back in January and February to begin building that process. So we've worked collaboratively, and I just want to thank them for all of their work and partnering with us, listening to the direction of the commission, trying to craft and look at ideas to find ways of doing that. And as you did this morning, where we recognize a couple of our employees, thank all of our employees that do the work every single day to be able to make the county as great as it is. And so I just want to thank them and thank you for the guidance that you've provided over the last year. And it's based upon that guidance that we've tried to make this budget realize that direction that you've provided. So again, thank everyone for this, and be happy to take any questions.
Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a comment, Barry, I just want to thank you and Chris and all the department heads and all the employees. I know it took a lot of effort to do that, and I just want to thank you for that. I have not delved into that big, thick book because I'm still digesting the 2 big, thick books on the raise. But I just wanted to thank you for all the hard work that went into this.
Thank you.
Commissioner Flowers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you as well for providing us with the information. I know it's a lot. I have a question, and you may not have the answer today, but later, or maybe when we meet, our one-on-ones, you will. So we give a pot of money to each department for raises for staff. Not everybody gets the max. You know, it depends on where they are. So I'd like to know if we had any funds remaining from the proposed salary increases for, our last fiscal year or the year that we're in right now. Because I know not everybody got like straight forwards across the board.
Well, so the way
how you do that?
Yeah. So the way our what you're talking about is like a pay performance system. We've had a lot of discussion on this over the several years that I've been here. Right now, the way it works is you either get it or you don't, based upon a positive evaluation. So there's criteria by which an employee under discipline and things like that may not receive that raise. We actually modified that last year to where we give them a period to correct their behavior, to which then they get it, so it's not a permanent. But then if they don't, then then it's permanent, right? So we've worked a lot on our HR policies. We haven't crafted the pay performance yet. One of the things that we're working on is, as you know, within your budget packet, you get a lot of performance-type data. Well, we're working on that same evaluation of performance data within our departments for our employees. And so until we get really good at that, it's very hard to make that linkage. And so we do that. But I also know within the budget, we don't fund up our departments at 100% of payroll. knowing that there's going to be turnover. People leave and people come in at a lower level, people retire and things like that. So we look at that trend and that history and provide an appropriate amount overall within their budget.
Commissioner was that it? Commissioner Latvala.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for all the hard work both of y'all and your staffs have put into this. Refresh my memory on the advertising for the CBB, the $6 million. That was for targeted markets that they identified, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. They had gotten out of several markets, and this was really regaining those. I think Commissioner Peters can probably speak to it even better but there was the TDC really wanted. They had evaluated which markets to get back into, and this was a proposal to go back into those markets or enhance certain markets. But it's $6 million.
And most of those decisions now are data-driven. We're doing much more data-driven decisions now that we've hired the right people in that department. And so we've got the data demonstrating where we need to go and where we've been, where we're losing, and So I love that it's data-driven and the decisions are based on good data. So Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, I too wanted to thank you for staff's work and obviously all the departments for weighing in as they have this past year. Not for, again, I like Commissioner Scott, I haven't really gotten into the budget proposal that you have, but I just for information as we go to those workshops in August, I'm just looking at a couple of the pages. It looks like the millage rate is being reduced about 3%. Is that close to being accurate? Could you check on that? Yeah. And since the values overall were up 9%, I think roughly, a full rollback, and I'm not suggesting that, would be 9% almost on the millage, just more or less. So we're talking about a partial rollback, about 30, 40% rollback from the existing millage. If we could get maybe that confirmation, that would be good. The infrastructure millage that we have set aside for that, is that included in this millage, this 4.59?
It is.
It is, okay, it's rolled in, so.
We've continued all of the three targeted millages to the Transportation Trust.
And that's like about 0.3 or 0.33. If you could confirm that as well, that would be great. I know when we got we had the budget discussions back in June, we were talking about a $600 and a 3% raise. So I would just like to see if we applied a 3.5% and a 3% raise instead, what that would equate to as far as additional millage rate reduction. So I just that little tweak. Again, I'm not suggesting that I support that. I just want to make sure I understand the sensitivity of those adjustments.
Yes, we certainly can provide that, but just as a clarification, Commissioner, we put in a 3% plug number.
I understand.
We never proposed that it was going to be 3%.
You're proposing this.
I am proposing that.
We discussed the last time we were together, it was assumed at 3% in the discussions. So I just want to make sure I understand that. And the last question I had is, again, not needing to do that today, but the reserve levels, I think the target now, based on discussions last year, is 20.8%. Could you just tell us what this proposed budget is, where that number is? That would be helpful.
We will absolutely do that. And it's broken down within the budget. I know that's a very thick document. And this is a lot of information coming on top of the raise deal, which is the thing I'm going to talk about next. Staff will be happy. I mean, look at all the work that our budget analyst and Chris and that team has done. They know, they did a really good job this year, and they know the details of those individual departments. If you want to meet with our budget staff and go through, any and all aspects, please feel free at your leisure, whatever time you want. It doesn't, they will make themselves available to go and look at any and all ideas or thoughts or concerns or whatever you want. Please utilize that. They're at your disposal to be able to dig into whatever type of detail you would like.
And that's all I had, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? No? Okay.
Great, thank you. I'll address the rest from. And as you've also heard, there's some discussions going on down in St. Pete today, has to do. So they're having a committee of the whole meeting. The idea that if everything is positive, then they would hold a vote on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes and walk that through. We have individual meetings scheduled with commissioners. Because of the CRA requires a public hearing and it requires 10-day notice provision. So we've already noticed that provision to have that on for June 30th, because otherwise I couldn't. If we're not ready, July. If we're not ready, then you can postpone it. But if I didn't get that advertisement out, then you couldn't hold it, okay? So we've done that notice to where we have that flexibility. Again, we're gonna do our individual meetings with you. I'll hear from you. And then we're gonna watch to make sure that, obviously if it doesn't pass city council or it's delayed, well then we'll adjust our schedule accordingly. So we're working through those details. I'll be meeting with you. That concludes my report.
Commissioner Eggers.
Will it be on our workshop also?
Yes.
The week before the...
Correct. We would have a presentation, formal presentation, and have it on our July 25th work session for a July 30th vote, again, assuming the timeline holds.
Well, be prepared to have I think if the more detailed presentation we have will save time from the 7 of us.
Yes.
I'm not saying it will eliminate that time, but otherwise, it'll end up being a lot like what they did down in St. Petersburg, where each commissioner is up, half hour. So it'd be better to have a really detailed presentation on each package.
When I do our one-on-ones, I have a briefing packet for you that's going to go into that detail on both the stadium, and I have the city that will be with us that will discuss the Heinz proposal.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 37. And 37, in the workshop, Commissioner Flowers had volunteered to be appointed to the Area on Aging for Pasco and Pinellas. So I would entertain a motion for that. We've got a motion from Commissioner Latvala, second from Commissioner Long. And if we could pull up the voting cards.
No, I think it's great. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. That's
Okay,
all.
and that passes unanimous. And then we're going to go to an appointment to the Palm Harbor Community Service Agencies by Commissioner Justice.
I would move approval of the appointment of Tamara Black.
We got a motion by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Flowers. If we can pull up the voting cards. Okay, and that, waiting on Commissioner Long. Is it yes? Yes. Okay, so that passes unanimously. And then we have an appointment to the Opportunity Council, and we've got some ballots that will be passed out.
The board has selected Carolyn Michael with 3 votes. 2 votes were received for Douglas Frazier, and 2 votes were also received for Georgia Mantis.
Okay. And then we'll move on to number 40, an appointment to Solid Waste Technical Management, and that will also have a ballot.
The board has selected Tracy Meehan with 6 votes. 1 vote was received for John Denardi.
Okay. So next, we're going to go to number 41, and I think we only need a voice vote on this one, if I'm correct, to appoint Mayor Danny Saraki to the mayor's, or to the TDC Council. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So we'll go on to new business. This time I'm going to start with Commissioner Scott.
Before I get into my new business, I wanted to just revisit a conversation that we had last on our work session regarding appointments to the canvassing board. So in order to meet our statutorily required requirements, I would like to make a motion to appoint Commissioner Peters as a member of the canvassing board and Commissioner Long as the required alternate canvassing board member.
And that, can that be a voice vote, or do we need that on a voice vote? So all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so since our last meeting, we all know that the short-term rental bill was vetoed by the governor, so I don't know if that changes anything of our approach of what we do going forward, but I'm looking forward to continuing those discussions. Quick update on Tampa Bay Water, which Commissioner Eggers and I had a meeting there yesterday. We are out of drought, which is good news. The summer rains have finally begun, and the reservoir, we're starting to refill it. It actually got down to about 2.5 billion gallons from its maximum of 15 billion, so it actually got down pretty low. But we're actually being able to start to refill that, which is good news. Next month, we will be voting on a bond issuance resolution for future capital projects, such as the South Hillsborough Pipeline and Surface Water Treatment Plant expansion. May include some restructuring of existing debt to try to smooth out any rate increases going forward. But we're talking some really, really big numbers here, some big projects coming down the line. Also approved a feasibility study to review options for new groundwater and surface water sources to meet the region's growing water demand. Good news, our water quality is excellent. Of all of the 20 or so sources that Tampa Bay Water pulls water from, there was only one that tested slightly above the new EPA's level for PFAS of 4 parts per trillion, and this was just slightly over 4 parts per trillion. But that water doesn't get directly sent to customers. It gets blended with other water sources before it gets there. So by the time it does get there, it's well below the EPA's level. And to give you a sense of scope on that, 4 parts per trillion is 1 drop of PFAS in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So we're not We're talking very, very, very minuscule amounts. But the good news is that was the only source that had any issues at all, and once it's blended with the other sources, it comes well below the levels.
That source is in Hillsborough County, correct?
Yeah, that's the Lithia, the Lithia source. Attended both NACO and FACT, attended sessions on AI, cybersecurity, opioid settlement funding, affordable housing. I thought by far the most interesting was the future of advanced air mobility, which is electric vertical and takeoff landing vehicles that Orlando International Airport has a vertiport that is called in the plans to be operational hopefully by 2028. And I think that this technology could really be a game changer. So I think that would be a really good subject for a future work session. I don't know, I know T-BARTA, talking with Commissioner Flowers, had done kind of a whole plan on that. And I don't know where PI sits into that or where Tampa International sits into that, but I think that would be a really good future workshop subject to sort of see where we're going with that here in our region. So I just really think that's going to be a big, big game changer. Attended the Aeromexico first flight at Tampa International along with Brian Loack. Attended with Commissioner Justice, the Lellman 5th of July barbecue. And it was a very, I want to thank everybody that came out for that, but also thank the Lellman firefighters for cooking over that hot, incredibly hot. We were sweating standing there. I can't even imagine what it was like cooking hamburgers and hot dogs over that grill. Do want to congratulate new Madeira Beach Mayor Anne Marie Brooks and new Madeira Beach City Commissioner Hush Gavai. I also want to congratulate Mike Sutton with Habitat for Humanity on their new son, Cole Edward, born July 1st at 4:12 a.m. And also want to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Charter Review Committee for all of their dedication and hard work through that process the last year or so. Commissioner Eggers, Property Appraiser Mike Twitty, State Senator Nick DeSigli, Madeira Beach Mayor Anne Marie Brooks, Mark Strickland, Ashley Overend, Tom Steck, Rob Pasevic, Brian Ox Jr., Pinellas Park City Council Member Ricky Butler, Terry Lipsy Scott, and City of Bel Air Commissioner Todd Jennings and Lindsay Grove. Also want to recognize Derry Lynn for her recent engagement. Congratulations to you. And of course, congratulations to Dr. Flowers. So, that concludes my report.
Okay. Commissioner Justice.
She has a different look.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not a lot. Again, attended the Florida Association of Counties Conference. Great workshops there, as well as at NACO in Tampa this past week. And I want to thank everyone throughout. There was great 4th and 5th of July celebrations all throughout Pinellas, from Tarpon Springs to Safety Harbor to Kenneth City to Gulfport to St. Pete, all over the county. A great time to be out and about visiting with our neighbors and residents. So otherwise, that's all I've got.
Great. Commissioner Flowers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to say super kudos to NACO for, I thought, a wonderful conference. All of the breakout sessions, it was kind of like hard to determine which one you really want to go to because it was so many good ones. So thank you all for coming over. I serve on the Economic Development, Workforce, and Housing Committee, and we had a number of resolutions that were presented before us that expanded from homeless initiatives to, of course, looking at ADUs. And I think, in my opinion, Pinellas County is like one of the leaders when it comes to accessory dwelling units and what we're doing and how we're making those provisions, particularly for our veterans, who they're not looking for a huge house. They just want a space that's manageable so that they can have a place, a decent roof over their head, and continue to move forward. Unfortunately, our candidate did not win second VP. That was Commissioner Bill Truax, but it was a hard-fought fight. Congratulations to George Dunlap, who did win the race, and we look forward to working with him. We've already started kind of nudging to see what commissions or committees that he would be interested in allowing some of us to serve on because of all of the topics that are going on nationwide. And I think that the Florida Association of Counties really has in my opinion, a real grasp on all of those issues and real positive solutions. Congratulations for those of you that serve on PSTA, that $28 million for some additional buses. So that's going to really, I think, help with the climate here in our community, as well as providing those wonderful services to the community for transporting people throughout the whole idea is to take as many cars off the road as possible and have transportation that gets people where they need to go effectively and efficiently. So congratulations to you guys who serve on PSTA. Excuse me. School will be starting back, so look out for the little ones. They will be back at bus stops and things of that nature, so we want to make sure that we are paying attention. There are so many back-to-school supply drives and giveaways, so there are a number of websites you can go on to see who's having which supply giveaways. So if individuals are in need, please feel free to reach out and I can give you the flyer or the information. The largest one that is not only giving school supplies, but they're also giving out uniforms for families that may not be able to afford them, and that's going to be held under Renee Edwards' banner. She does some wonderful work with her services and her partnership with Tropicana Field and the Rays, and so that event will be coming up. Excuse me, that event will be coming up, and again, they'll be distributing book bags, school supplies, as well as school uniforms. So if you know of anyone that needs them, I'll make sure I send the flyer out to everybody. And that is free of charge. It's giving those things away. For those of you that were able to make it over to NACO, thank you. I saw some of your smiling faces. Others probably could not because of schedules, but I think your presence was certainly made known. Thank you, Chair Peters, for representing us when it came to voting and whatnot on the last day. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you very much, Commissioner Brian Scott, for giving me that shout out. Yes, I don't have to stay up and study anymore, so now I have all this time and I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with that time, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. I'm sure I'll figure it out. But thank you all so much because you all listen to me whine, gripe, and complain. I believe I sent you all the invitation if you would like to watch the graduation. The link is in that invitation. I will be traveling to San Antonio, Texas to actually participate in the hooding ceremony. And I got 4 friends, close friends, my daughter and some other friends that'll be traveling with me, so it'll be nice. But thank you all so much for your support and for acknowledging that because it's not easy. But thank you all. I really appreciate that. It really warmed my heart for you all to support me with that. Commissioner Latvala and I will have some upcoming meetings with Workforce, the Workforce Development Consortium. So I look forward to those meetings, but I'm sure Commissioner Latvala and I will represent you all well. We will represent the best interests of Pinellas County well at that meeting. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My report is short this meeting, and I think I've brought this up before, but I'm bringing it up again because now I don't go anywhere without somebody talking about electric bikes on our trail. And I'm not sure what we can do about that, Barry, but somehow or other, getting the word out and putting some enforcement behind that, I think is really critical before someone gets seriously, seriously hurt.
The issue of electric bikes on the trail is a matter of state law. So state law classifies how bikes are ranked and whether or not they have access just like a bicycle. And so we've been dealing with this for a while now. There's a lot of efforts in terms of signage and things like that and being safe, and Commissioner Eggers is like right, ground central for the issues in Dunedin where, there's a lot of people. If you're walking and somebody passes you at 10 miles an hour, they say that they're going 30. I don't know what they're going, but I know that feels unsafe. And so we're well aware of that. We're working a lot with, like in Dunedin with the city, because they control that main section of about 1 mile. But there's more that needs to be done. But the issue of how electric bike is classified is a matter of state law. So we have to follow the guidance from the state on that.
Well, then, my next comment would be, let's put that on our legislative agenda and see if we can't have an amendment to that statute, because state law isn't always right. And there's a lot of unintended consequences as a result of what they decide to do, and I think this might be one of them. Because, for all of you that participate on the trail, there's a lot of young families and mothers with strollers and baby carriages on the trail. It's just a matter of time before there's an egregious accident. That's my report. Thank
Commissioner
you.
Eggers. Commissioner Eggers.
Thought I would get through this meeting. Yeah, I thought I could get through the meeting one time without having to be reminded. Not the case. I had a chance to meet with a couple of Dunedin High School students, Sophia Green and Samantha Ray, for Girls State. Just amazing young students, young people. And I know Sophia well. She goes to our church, and she's involved in so many things. And just good to have young people doing such great things in our community. I also wanted to take the chance to congratulate Xavier Jones of our mosquito services for the 900th Habitat home. It was just a really wonderful morning, and he and his sons, and just exciting. It was good stuff. And also wanted to congratulate Mike Sutton on the birth of his child. I mentioned it on Thursday, but just since this is the meeting itself, that Zach Brown from HEP had passed away suddenly, and they're having a funeral for him on Friday at 2 o'clock at HEP, this church there on campus. Just a really great guy. He was very sensitive, does a lot of great work, but he also is hands-on with individuals that are there. So he just always had the right attitude. Congratulations to Andrew Henning and the Collaborative Labs 20th anniversary. That was a nice event to kind of reflect back on the many efforts that they've done over the years. Special shout out to Don Kroll for his work on the RAISE process. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of work that went into that. We're going to be talking about the agreement, and I equate it to the forest and the trees. He got into the trees, and it's really nice to be able to get that detail if you need it. But anyway, thank you, Don, for that. Also, I'm not going to get into it today. I know Animal Services is investigating this recent death of an animal at one of the stores and how it was handled and all of that. Continue to try to put light on our retail stores and the work that they're doing. Some really good, some needs to be called into that whole discussion about raising the standards, and we have to do better. That's just unacceptable. But we'll see how the investigation goes before we get too far into that. Commissioner Scott, thank you for your comments about Tampa Bay Water. The interesting part is the debts that we're talking about, they're trying to structure it so that the actual debt payments stay about the same thing as we have now. So we're going to be some coming off, adding some on. Those debt payments, obviously, if they increase too much, it gets passed through to each of the member governments and to our residents in rates. So we're doing our best to try to keep that that debt structure about where it is now. We'll see. That's still a work in progress. On the PFAS item, that the perspective that Brian told you about, the one drop in 20 pools, and they just lowered that from 70 down to 4 parts per trillion. So it just went down almost 10 times, excuse me. And at the same time, just none of it getting to any of our residents, even at the new levels. So really doing great work, and appreciate the staff there and all of the member governments and their input on this as well. You also said thank you to the Charter Review. I won't mention the names again, but it was a, really good collaborative group. There's some things that kind of came on at the end, which we elected not to look at, but I think that report will be a good foundation for the charter review, the next one that comes in the next 6 years or so, 7 years down the road. A great group of people working really hard, all the way since last August. So look forward to rolling that out over the next few months and seeing how the residents of Pinellas County accept those recommendations. In November, they'll have a chance to vote on each one of them. CNCN had a forum last night up in East Lake Library. It was packed, really, really well attended. I know they're going to have another one in September, and they're continuing to try to make sure that the residents up there get a chance to see this. In this case, it was the school board candidates and those that are running for Congress. So just turned out to be mostly from the Democrat side that were there, as they're the only ones that have a primary for that seat. Commissioner Long, I couldn't agree more with you on the electric bike issue. We don't have control over that, I understand, but we do have control how the traffic on the trail move, and this is another problem that adds to the confusion and all of the issues, because you're really walking in the same direction as these bicycles, so they're coming at you from your back. You can't see them coming, and you can't hear them. So they just fly right by you. And sometimes they surprise you, sometimes they stay real clear, but if there's people coming the other way, it gets really tight. And there are a lot of folks that are in the same lane almost that are just the speed limits are too different. Walkers and bikers, so.
They're passing people on the right-hand side, and you just don't anticipate anybody trying to whiz by you on your right.
And they're coming pretty fast.
Yeah, they are.
So yeah, it's a problem, and there's only a limit to what we can do. And I think controlling the flow on the trail and how we do that is something that we have to keep looking at. So that's all I've got, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Lettville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last week, I had the privilege to do a ride-along with the Sheriff's Office. I rode with Corporate Sibley. Tyler rode with Deputy Salzman. I wanted to thank both of them. And I've done several ride-alongs over the years with different agencies in Pinellas County. And I've long since learned that I was not fit to be a cop. But I did learn the other day that the one thing that I would be good at if I were a cop is that I would know how to do a Code 58, which means to take a break to go eat. So I would, I would have that down pat. But all the ride-alongs that I've done previous, I've never ridden with lights and sirens, which is a good thing. But on Friday, we were sitting in High Point, or riding around talking, and because it was kind of slow. And less than a minute later, we're going 90 miles an hour on US 19, balls to the wall. And I literally had a front row seat on how our deputies and law enforcement officers drive when there's a life at stake, which was a real experience, because it was amazing to watch, how he's weaving in and out of traffic and literally driving on the wrong side of the road, because there was a life at stake. And I just wanted to give our law enforcement heroes a shout out, and especially a thank you to Corporal Sibley and Deputy Salzman for giving us that front row seat the other day. I attended the July 4th celebration in Clearwater. Also, a few weeks ago, I attended the memorial for Luke Wall in Clearwater. He's a well-known lawyer in Clearwater. Some of y'all may know him. He was a civic leader, political leader, friend of many judges, and he lived a life well lived, and his impact in Clearwater and to Pinellas County was great. And lastly, I know that we'll be talking more about this next month, and I'll be bringing this up next month, but just a couple things that I wanted y'all to think about with the budget, and I appreciate everything that staff has done, but I will be bringing forward a request for $4 million to the sheriff's budget for raises. The sheriff did not ask for this, by the way, as well as $200,000 to the sheriff's budget for a program that Eckerd does. It's a Eckerd Sea Rescue, and it usually gets funded at the state level, but it has been vetoed, and that's a program that they do specifically or in large parts with Skyway jumpers. And thankfully, because of the fence that has been installed, the number of jumpers has gone way down, but Eckerd still has some sea rescues that they do in conjunction with the Coast Guard and the Sheriff's Office. But both of those things the sheriff is not asking for, but next month will be bringing them forward to discuss. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We look forward to that. I also wanted to thank the Charter Review members. I know it took a lot of their own personal time to do a lot of that public work. So I do appreciate it. I want to extend a personal thank you to my appointee, Ricky Butler, who had to resign to, as a result of being successfully elected to the Pinellas Park City Council, and also to Ellen Schwartz, who stepped up to finish his term. I also attended NACO this past weekend, where our beach renourishment resolution was successfully adopted by the Environmental, Energy, and Land Use Policy Steering Committee. I want to thank Jill Silverboard, Kelly Levy, and Matt Spohr for all their support and work on the initiative. Also, I want each one of you to remember to make sure to complete your survey for Jules' performance review. The County Attorney Oversight Committee meeting is next Wednesday, July 24th, and I will have Ashley send the link out to you again if you haven't done it. And then also I wanted to just follow up on Commissioner Flowers' request to have the family of Petty Officer Mo Hatham here on the July 30th meeting to accept the resolution for renaming the Gandy Bridge in his memory. We're also working to confirm if Senator Rouson will be in attendance at that meeting as well. And I think that's all I have. So if there's nothing else for discussion, conversation, questions, then seeing none, the meeting is adjourned.